Here I am trying to demo the first couple of steps in assignment 8, how to create the study area and use the study area by using selection by location to get a subset of the Pittsburgh census blocks from PghBlocks. Right now what I am showing you is I have done the get set up correctly. So let me also show you this work folder here. I have the GDB and I have the map document files there all set up already. So I open to you here. These are the map layers set up according to the specification in get set up. And here I have in the catalog window showing MXD and the GDB there, and inside the GDB are the map layers I'm showing here all set up properly. And let me close that window here, and in here you have all the layers set up properly, and that's the river. And if I turn off the census blocks, it may be easier to read because there are way too many census blocks here, you can tell. And in here we have just the zip codes. 15222 here is the strip district plus the central business, right? And that's inside there we have all the streets and buildings in there. So that's mainly what we want to study. So we want to just select that zip code area and use it to expand a little bit to cover more. So let me first select it. So I would go to PGX zip codes, open the attribute table. We can see that each zip code area has a row here, and if I sort this in ascending order and then look down through it, and I find 15222. Let's scroll down a little bit. That's 15222. If I click on the leftmost grid here, I select that row, right? If I have selected that row, I can always look at the map. You can move it aside or close it, and you see that 15222 actually has two parts across the river, and that's selected. You can see the highlighted blue there, right? Now I want to use this to create a polygon that's slightly bigger than it. So what we need to do is go to geoprocessing and select the buffer tool. The buffer tool is a tool to use something to create another polygon, which is called a buffer. So the input feature, what we need is from our map, we want to look at the zip codes, and the selected zip code will be used, and the output automatically goes to, you can direct it if you didn't set up your default GDB. I set up the default GDB to be my GDB, and so it points there, and by default it comes up with the name of that output map or feature class. Well, I don't like that name. I like the name study area, right? Because that will be our study area. And we want to build a buffer. How big should that buffer be? We thought about it. It should be a 1/4 mile because we're going to use that 1/4 mile radius to cover more than the study area. So the unit should be feet. A 1/4 mile would be 5,280 divided by 4. That would be what should that be? 1320, right? So it should be 1320. So I enter it here. It will be 1230 feet, and that's all. We don't need any other things. We round the end. Those are some of the details there. How to form the buffer? Do you want it round? And we are not doing any dissolve here, so everything's fine. And if actually we're not even interested in any of the attribute information from the thing that we use, right, which is zip code. We don't care about that. We only want to create a polygon. So we just say, okay, you process that. And now it created. You see that that polygon, it's slightly bigger than the selected part. And that's a 1/4 mile from the edge. So that's one polygon. That's, if we look at that new map layer, look at the attribute table, it has exactly one polygon. Like we said, we don't care about these attribute data. That's the polygon we want. And of course, to be a study area, usually what we do is to use hollow and use a thick outline, like 1.5, and say that, and see, it marks the area, but makes it hollow so that we can see through it. That's what we want to use. Now we can clear that selection, so we don't want to look at zip code 15222 anymore. Right. So that's the the polygon. And if we go back to our catalog window, look at our GDB, we actually have a new map layer or feature class called StudyArea here, right? And that is that polygon. Now we want to use that polygon to get a subset of the PghBlocks. Now, for easier reading, I bring up the PghBlocks, so I click here to turn it on. You can see that we have many census blocks. To make things easier to see, for a while I turn off the zip codes. No need to look at the zip codes. So the red zip codes are gone. All we see are the black census blocks. There are way too many. We are not interested in all of them. We only want to get a subset of it related to the study area that I have here. So anything that intersects it, we take, in other words, we take every census block inside. But if the census block is partially inside, for safety's sake, we include that, right? So now we go to selection by location. That means you use one map layer by the specific location marked by that layer. We use it to select another thing. So there's the source and the target that we need to be careful in handling. So selection by location, we're doing selection from the target. What are we selecting from? We are selecting from the StudyAreaBlocks that we turn on here. So we select that. So we should click on this, make sure that is checked. So that's our target. And what is the source? What tool do you use? We use the study area. So in here, we want to use the source layer, should be the study area. So now we use that study area to take on the target, which are the blocks. So what kind of relationship do you want? Usually is what it intersect, although there are a good number of them you can select from. You can select some others, it may be slightly different, but the main thing that we need would be all those intersecting it. Right? You can apply some kind of tolerance there, but leave to use what that is, and you say okay. Then you see that it's using the study area to select those census blocks, right? So only those that get involved enough with the study area get selected. So we can go to the PghBlocks, look at the attribute table and see all these are selected, 488 selected. If you don't just look at the selected, look at everything, you see that it's not all selected, only some of those. In fact, most are not selected. If I scroll down once in a while, see, we begin to see more and so on, right? But what we are interested are those that are selected. So now we can use this map layer to create a subset. So we come here, right click, and we want to export that selected data. We export data from the map layer so that it will be a subset of the layer of those that are selected. So you would do that, and it would use the coordinate system of the source layer and only the selected comes out, and the subset, now I point to my GDB as a default GDB. Otherwise, you have to click on this and find the right GDB to put it in. And what should that output layer be called? It's not export output. That's not a good name. I like the name StudyAreaBlocks, right? Because these are census blocks selected by the study area. So if I say OK, it will now create a new map layer. Output name is not valid. What's wrong? I did something wrong here. I might have a wrong code character in there. Let me type it in again. StudyAreaBlocks. That should be okay. I say okay. Output name is not valid. I don't know why. Let me try this. Go to my home, go here, StudyAreaBlocks. Okay, now finally, do you want to add that? Yes. Okay, so now I have a new map layer, which would be the StudyAreaBlocks. If I look at it, it would be the attribute table looks similar with the same data, but I have only those that are selected. This is like the census blocks, but not all the census blocks, right? Let me make sure that I change it to hollow using black, and then clear the selection. You see that, right? I have all the census blocks here. Now I uncheck this. So all the census blocks that are far away from it are not seen. So the study area blocks are only the blocks somewhat involved with the study area, right? This is a subset of the PghBlocks in there, as you can tell. And let me look at the GDB here. We have the study area blocks there. Okay, so we can go on and do some processing. We can turn this back on and see, right? The zip code there now are just for reference so that we can read and know things. The main thing is that now we have the subset of the area, study area blocks to work on. And now we can even focus more inside here to do things, right? And well, you can go on with that, and I would save my map and allow you to go further with the assignment. I hope this demo helps. So I'll end right here.